Hyle had been cruising through the Andromeda sector for 3 standard weeks, her modest cargo vessel humming peacefully through the star-studded void. This vacation was supposed to be simple, just her, the endless cosmos, and absolutely no responsibilities. No shipments to deliver, no deadlines to meet, no complications. That plan shattered the moment she heard the squeaking. At first, she thought it was a malfunction in the life support system. A loose valve perhaps, or a faulty air filter. But the sound was too organic, too distressed. Hale frowned, setting down her coffee bulb and floating through the zero-gravity cabin toward the cargo hold. The squeaking grew louder as she approached. Her hand hovered over the door panel, hesitation creeping up her spine. In all her years of space travel, she'd learned that unexpected noises rarely meant good news. But curiosity and something softer, something maternal, pulled her forward. The cargo hold door hissed open. Nestled between 2 storage crates, trembling and no bigger than her forearm, was a dragon. Hale blinked, then blinked again. Dragons were supposed to be extinct, wiped out centuries ago when their homeworld, Draconis Prime, had been consumed by its dying star. She'd seen them only in historical archives and children's stories, yet here one was, impossibly real, with scales that shimmered like oil on water and eyes the color of molten gold. The tiny creature looked up at her and squeaked again, its voice pitched with fear and hunger. "Holy stars," Hyle whispered, anchoring herself to a wall handle. "How did you get here?" The dragon, of course, didn't answer. It simply stretched its translucent wings, barely developed, gossamer thin, and chirped plaintively. Hale's heart clenched. Whatever cosmic accident had brought this baby aboard her ship, one thing was clear. It was alone, terrified, and desperately in need of help. She reached out slowly, letting the dragon sniff her fingers. After a moment's hesitation, it pressed its snout against her palm, warm and surprisingly soft. Hayal felt something melt inside her chest. "All right, little one," she murmured. "Let's get you somewhere safe." 2 days later, Hayal's ship docked at Meridian Station, a bustling hub of interspecies commerce and culture. She'd sent an emergency transmission to the only person she trusted with something this extraordinary, Kivan, a xenobiologist with more degrees than sense and a heart bigger than Jupiter. He was waiting at the docking bay when she emerged, his dark eyes bright with anticipation. "You weren't joking," Kivan breathed, staring at the bundle in Hayal's arms. The dragon had grown noticeably in just 2 days, now the size of a house cat, and had developed an endearing habit of nesting in Hayal's flight jacket. "Would I joke about something like this?" Hale asked, though a smile tugged at her lips. Kivan carefully extended a hand, and the dragon sniffed it with the same curious caution it had shown Hayal. When it didn't bite or breathe fire, something Hayal had been nervously monitoring for, Kivan laughed with pure delight. "Do you know what this means?" he asked, his voice trembling with emotion. "Draconis Prime might be gone, but the dragons aren't. If there's one baby, there could be others. Eggs in stasis, hidden colonies, scattered survivors." Hayal nodded slowly. She'd thought of little else during the journey to Meridian Station, but something else weighed on her mind, something heavier than scientific implications. "Kivan," she said quietly, "I can't keep her forever. She needs proper care, study, maybe even others of her kind." The dragon, Hayal had started calling her Ember in the privacy of her thoughts, chirped and burrowed deeper into the jacket, as if protesting the very idea of separation. Kivan watched the interaction with keen eyes. Then he smiled, that knowing smile that had always made Hayal both annoyed and reassured. "She's bonded with you," he said simply. "Dragons are empathic creatures, according to the old texts. They choose their companions. And Hayal, she's chosen you. I'm a cargo pilot, not a dragon keeper. You're whatever you choose to be." Kivan's expression softened. "Besides, I can help. I've got lab space, research grants, connections to conservationists across 3 galaxies. We can do this together, study her, protect her, and maybe, just maybe, find others." Hayal looked down at Ember, who gazed back with those impossibly intelligent golden eyes. In that moment, she saw not just a creature of legend, but a responsibility, a chance to be part of something larger than herself, a chance to ensure that humanity, and all the species of the galaxy, didn't lose another irreplaceable piece of their shared universe. "All right," Hayal whispered, scratching gently under Ember's chin. The dragon purred a sound like distant thunder. We'll do it together. 6 months later, Hayal's ship had been retrofitted with specialized habitats, temperature controls, and enough scientific equipment to make a research station jealous. Ember had grown to the size of a large dog, her scales now gleaming with deep crimsons and golds, her wings strong enough for short flights through the cargo hold. More importantly, Kivon's network had borne fruit. 3 more dragon eggs had been discovered in a derelict colony ship, drifting near the Horsehead Nebula. Hope, it seemed, was a resilient thing. As Hayal watched Ember play with a gravity ball, her chest swelled with something she couldn't quite name. Pride, perhaps. Purpose. Love. Kivon appeared beside her, 2 coffee bulbs in hand. Thinking deep thoughts? Just thinking, Hayal replied, accepting the coffee. About how a vacation can change everything. Ember chirped in agreement, and somewhere in the distance, the stars burned a little brighter.